especially like through my development stage, and, freshman all the way to senior year. I just wish I would have been on that side of town maybe, and then got to connect with you guys. I definitely felt like it would have helped me a lot.
Joining in to the official the One Eye Scout show. Tonight we're gonna drop a few nuggets, and then we're gonna start off the first edition of coaches interviews. Just give us an opportunity to learn uh, the lives, the backgrounds, the who's, the what's, the whys of several of coaches around the city. Um, I do want to throw out, you know, two nuggets real quick. One, a lot of you guys are getting junior college offers, and that's a great thing. But study up, read about, visit, look on the internet, and quit waiting for other people to provide you information. Because when you wait for other people to provide you information, they can have narratives, they can have a certain way of presenting information. And whenever you research the information, then it's up to your interpretation. So I say that because there's quite a few uh, Texas junior colleges that are ranked. And for those of you that follow the Twitter page, which I highly suggest, it'll be posted there as soon as the show is over. That's number one. Number two, talking to several Division One coaches uh, that were in attendance at state games around the state playoff games. I asked them, "What are you looking for?" Um, What's up, Legra? Um, so I asked them, "What are you looking for at this game?" And they said they're not sure if they're even going to take any of these guys, but what they're looking for is the motor, how intent they are, how aggressive they are, how instinctual, but mostly just the motor. Do you compete for every play? Because that's the only thing that they see that truly translates over to uh, no matter what level you play. Once you get to college, it's going to transfer. And a lot of these guys are looking now to put their stock in the junior college ranks. So they're watching you now, so they may go get you after your freshman year when you've got a year of experience. They may get you after 2 years. So there's the two nuggets right there. And, real quickly, um, we're going to start bringing up my friend Coach Abbott's interview. And, he coaches and teaches over at Southwest Legacy. Um, Great guy. We talk about hosting. He hosts a tournament every year, and wants me to come out there and and evaluate it for him, which is kind of right up on my alley. Um, as we're on this journey with Jay Fry, evaluating across the state, across the city, and across the nation. I said all those out of order, but yeah, man. So we're gonna go ahead and get the video loaded so we can catch that great interview, and then we'll be off in time for the ladies coming behind us. Uh, Vance, you got the Kevin interview? Howell, the One Eye Scout, here on TAAN TV, and I'm excited to have Coach Pete Abbott with me from Southwest Legacy here in San Antonio. Coach Abbott, one thing that always interests me is why someone would choose the coaching profession. Can you give us a little bit about yourself?
So when I was going through undergrad, I was originally a broadcast journalism major, and I wanted to be a sportscaster. So one day I was like volunteering for the basketball class for students, and so Coach Evans, his head coach at Central Oklahoma, said, "Hey, man, you did a really good job. They need coaches at the middle school, and they pay you." And I was like, I don't want to coach no kids, and I was like, no, I just did this to help. And so one thing I went and applied, and my first ever team was seventh grade basketball at Sequoia Middle School in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Hmm.
And so I still remember the point guard, Matt McLean. Our center was a kid named Eric Randall. We call him E Double.
Hmm.
They're all grown now. You know, they have
Yeah.
like they're grown with kids and everything. And then our best player at the time was a kid named Trent Braden. And so it's funny that they're like in their 30s now. So that's what brought me to coaching, and it just started there. And I was the seventh grade coach for like 2 years, and then I switched majors. I did what I needed to do to get my certification in the state of Oklahoma, and that's how the story started.
Man, I can relate to the seventh grade. My first job out of college, I was a seventh grade B and C team coach at Grantham Academy in Aldine ISD, and we were district champs. But man, I had soccer players, bro. No disrespect to soccer players, but those guys only know one thing: try to score.
Yeah.
And but it was good, man. It kind of led me into where I'm at today. But you know, let's talk a little about your school, your community, your family over at Southwest Legacy. It's a newer school. I know you said 6 years, but tell us a little bit about what you got going on over there.
So when they opened the high school, they split it from Southwest High School, and we've both been kind of 5A.
Hmm.
Our community is low socioeconomic slash rural.
Hmm.
You know, our kids don't typically get to play AAU basketball and things of that nature.
Hmm.
But I've been there for this is year 7.
Hmm.
This is year 7. I didn't open the school; someone else did. I got hired the next year to
Okay.
be the head coach. This is year 7, and we've had in the time I've been there, we've had 2 college players,
Hmm.
which is good,
Yeah.
especially considering our community. So we've had 2 guys that have went to play collegiate basketball, and right now we're in a battle currently, trying to claw our way back into contention for the playoffs.
Hmm.
So our school just last year we tied for 4th, lost the play-in game. The 2 years before we made the playoffs. So we just it's just like when every year it's just like which
Battle.
battle back,
Hmm.
battle back and kind of find out who our team is. We don't have the fortunate, we're the team that other teams schedule, so
Hmm.
we're the team that other teams schedule. So it's just like our non-district's very difficult because it's kind of difficult here in San Antonio to find at level games,
Hmm.
because the teams that are at your level are your by district and your district,
Hmm.
so it's tough to find those games. So we're having to go play Steel. We're having to go play just different teams, different
Yeah,
high
and I've
level
seen your
teams.
schedule, man. You do have several state-ranked teams on your schedule.
Yes.
Things that are interesting about your community. We were talking a while back, and you talked about how you had to schedule around work schedules and those types of things, and that's something that I would like to say is unique. But as you go across the city
Yeah.
in our low socioeconomic situations, that's more commonplace than people really understand.
Yeah, yeah, it's more commonplace, and so it's just with our scheduling. Uh, you know, my belief is I don't like to be a paper champ. Like if we're good, we're good.
Yeah.
If we're bad, let us see that we're bad. And then you can kind of see the character of your team, and and I want them to realize, where we can get better and things like. I mean, I talk to them all the time. Um, I coach with the intention of creating the best basketball program in the South Side of San Antonio, and I can't do that. You know, you can't do that defeating minnows. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to play some of the better teams, and so that's what we always talk about, just program building stuff like
You know
that.
what's interesting? You speak about you can't do that beating minnows. Uh, we talked with Coach Rudy Bernal, an Etonian, but I spoke to him about the days back at Lanier when they did make those two runs back to back,
Yeah.
and he talked about regardless of what their makeup was, they were going to play the best because that was the only way to get to the best.
Yes.
One thing that can you talk about the different kind of hats that you wear in your school, in your district, in your program?
Well, I could put on my resume fundraiser, public relations director, maintenance and facilities manager.
Yeah,
Um, you know, I inventory,
specialist.
inventory specialist. So it's just technology associate, and so it's just you wear so many different hats that people don't quite understand. They just think you're coaching basketball. We have to make sure the film is on. We have to make sure that the floor is swept. We have to make sure that the stands are clean. We have to make sure that we have to get our kids out of class. So I'm also HR, So it's
Yeah.
just so there's so many different things that go into being a basketball coach that actually translate into the business world, because you're wearing so many different hats. You're constantly improving, using data to improve your systems. So we use data so heavily with our basketball team. I mean, when they say they track it, we track everything. We track everything, and so we try to make every movement on the basketball court tangible for our players and meaningful. So there's so many different things that you wear as a basketball coach, just and even as a classroom teacher, you know, as a classroom teacher, that people don't really realize, and until you get into that seat. So
Yeah, that's one thing that my mentor always told me was you don't know how you feel all good about that seat until you sit into it, and then but one thing, man, going through that list of things and tasks and all those things, what keeps you coming back?
well, the kids do, and your experiences with those individuals, and you get to watch them grow as people and as players. I that's probably one of the most meaningful things, watching their growth. Going back to that seventh grade team when I was back in Oklahoma visiting, probably about 5 years ago. Uh, one of the kids ran up. I was just walking through the mall. I just happened to be back home for a Christmas break, and we had just a little gap. One of the kids ran up to me. He has two kids. He said that was my first coach in basketball. So you as a coach quite don't understand the meaning that you have with kids, and what meaningful things. So like our former players come back and watch, which is, good, which is really good because, that is that you see it as a continuation of their development as they become adults. So,
For me, always working in low socioeconomic schools for the most of my career, it was more difficult, A, in one sense, but B, it was more meaningful, because a lot of those kids, you are that shoulder. A lot of those kids, you are their mentor at times. And you have to blend in with their family cultures. And so that was always, to me, it was a puzzle piece that I always enjoyed. Who do you go to for growth?
So, you know, what we do is to grow as coaches. We'll go to clinics. We'll go to clinics and things of that nature to help our players grow. We in our program, my coaching staff is phenomenal. I probably have the best assistant coach in the state of Texas.
That's what's up.
You know, he's going to be a phenomenal head coach one day. So what we try to do is we try to get our kids into situations. We talk to different AAU coaches and, try to get them as much scholarship type, situations as possible. And then, sometimes we'll have to watch our players grow. We'll have a parent come in and coach them, and they'll just pay for a tournament as a group and play together. Just, so they're not paying $300 for a uniform and a backpack that they don't really need,
Yeah.
And so that's what we do to grow as players, as coaches. We'll go to coaches clinics every fall. I go watch 3 or 4 colleges practice. This past, I went to Boston. I went and watched Providence, Boston College. 2 years ago, I went to Nashville, watched Lipscomb, Belmont, Vanderbilt. I am losing. Every fall, right when college basketball practice begins, I'm somewhere to go watch someone practice. That I'm trying to take something from them that I can bring back to my team. And I'm also at the same time creating relationships
Yes.
with people. So when we do have a recruitable player, we have a relationship outside of just me calling, hey, or emailing, and now they have a face. They have a number, someone that they've been having a conversation back and forth with, and so that's really, that's really the crux of it. We're just constantly trying to grow. So
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to build within the OneEyed Scout platform and with the assistance of TAAN TV, and we've been progressing. We got more room to grow. But we're going to take a station break right quick. It's Kevin Howell, the OneEyed Scout, watching TAAN TV, the African American Network, with a local feel and a global reach.
Okay. Well, first of all, though, Coach Abbott, I want to welcome you, and I really appreciate you taking time. You in the midst of the season, and you come to sit down with us, man. I really do appreciate it. You was talking about you went to school in Oklahoma. Is that where you?
yeah, yes.
Okay, so how did you get to San Antonio?
Funny story. When I was coaching, I ended up being a high school coach at a small school in Oklahoma called Okmulgee High School, little right off off of I-75 headed towards Tulsa. I was the high school basketball coach, defensive coordinator, assistant track coach. I was all these hats, and so during the summer, we would a lot of basketball coaches in Oklahoma would work this thing called Cage Camp at Oklahoma Christian University, put on by their head coach Dan Hayes, and one of my very good friends, he was at Denton Ryan as a freshman basketball coach and a track coach. And one of these, I just was randomly talking to him. I was like, man, let me ask you this. How much are you making in Texas coaching, just doing freshman basketball and track? And he told me, I said, what? And so the next year, I took an assistant job in Burleson. Then I was an assistant in Houston, head coach. Went back to Dallas, head coach, and then I was the head coach in Dallas until I came here.
Nice, nice. You know, I noticed through your interview with the OneEyed Scout is the passion that you have for coaching. I mean, you have to. I mean, and coaching in areas. And one thing I didn't see is woe is me, or the black coach syndrome where, you have to do, well, I know you have to do exceedingly more than one must, but there's that, when I look at you and you communicating, I don't see that. I don't see that struggle, I mean, I know it is, but, I don't see that, you don't give that air off. So how do you, what I want to say, navigate, no, that might not be the word, but just how do you handle, being a black coach and it been put in a situation like you're at Southwest Legacy, correct? And then, you was in Oklahoma where you did from defensive coordinator, all the different jobs and all the things you have to do. Is how do you do that, man? How do you keep going? And it seems like your demeanor is cool, I know we're on TV now, that, but I've been to a game. We've seen you in action.
Well, I mean, I put in internal systems to really understand that, what's important, what's not important. We had a really good volleyball coach a couple of years ago, and I mean, she might have won like 2 district games in 2 years, but the way she would go above and beyond for those kids. And one day, I happened to just be walking out after practice. It's late in the season, and she is just down in the dumps, about her whole everything, because she's like, she believes the coaching is a reflection, the performance of the team is a reflection of her, and in some senses it is, but in other instances it's not. It's not. So what keeps me okay and not stressing about wins, losses, anything? Okay, did I prepare my team? Did I prepare my team? Did they do what I prepared them to do? Were they prepared for what the other team was about to do? Yes. Okay, you did your job there. Did the other team make adjustments? Yes. Did you make adjustments in game? Yes. Okay, you were there. Were you encouraging them to do the right thing constantly? At any point, did you coach as if like, dang, we lost? No, you did your job.
Couple more questions, Coach, and I'm gonna let you go. Okay, one is you had mentioned the different colleges that you visit to become acquainted with them and then become acquainted with you. Is it a strategy of the type of colleges you picked, or the particular colleges? You was in the East Coast, then you went down to Nashville. So is it? I know you may want to try to cover a scope of, but is there particular ones?
It's more so like who has a hub of different schools. To be honest, basketball is basketball. A lot of basketball that people don't quite understand is that it is really a player-driven deal. It's not, the coach is there to manage and put you in a system to where, like, okay, you can do this. This is where you operate in this area. You operate in this area. You can do everything. We need you to do everything. And so with basketball, it's more player driven in the fact that you need your players to accept roles. Like the school, I forgot. We went to Stanford, and he actually got fired. So he actually got fired, but he did something in practice that I've never seen any other coach do. Like they would have personal huddles where he's actually talking to the kids, and they're having a dialogue back and forth about what they saw, what they didn't see, and that is good, just general coaching and practice. And he got fired, and so that's something I would take from someone. And then like the guy, we went to watch San Jose State practice, and the guys 10 miles, they might have won 2 conference games last year, but I've never seen a practice that hard, and so it really, what it does is help me try to prepare my athletes for what, if they do have aspirations, and it helps me, it puts a trigger in my mind to like, hell, he's not good enough because he can't make it through a 10 miles practice. They won 2 conference games. He's not good enough because he can't vocalize what he's seeing and process that information to where the coach, I can help you out. So let me help you out because now I understand what you're seeing. So it's not for it is for relationships, for one, but it's also for me because I'm not looking at the basketball because I don't have their talent or I don't have their personnel. I'm looking at little stuff that they do, little things that they do, the little tidbits that they do that I can take that doesn't have any bearing on the talent, any bearing on the personnel.
Nice. Okay, Coach. Be a little personal right now if I can, okay? You married, single?
I'm married.
Okay, you married?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, this is what it is. Then what do you do when you get away from basketball? What do you do to get away from basketball? Or you have a hobby?
Oh, I mean, this is my wife's an athlete, so it's pretty much it is what it is. We take vacations. We went to Essence Fest.
Nice.
That's nice. But like a lot, I mean, she's in a sense the consummate coach's wife. So she was a track athlete, so she kind of understands like this is kind of what it is, and so. But we do get away. We do get away. We have 2 little girls, and so really our vacations is watching them, compete in like track or whatever. So that's really kind of what we do. So
My last question. So now we're going to remove the one-eyed scout. He's not sitting there. That seat is empty. Okay. If you had the opportunity to bring someone back from heaven that had an impact on your life, that you would want to sit down and have that one more conversation with, who would that person be?
I have a brother who's homeless, so that's who I would bring. And just have one more conversation with not himself now, but who he was when he was 15, before it all started kind of going south for him. His daughter flew in over Christmas break, just brilliant. She got into Cornell. She's going to be a chemical engineer. She got into Cornell, and like they're paying for it and everything. Has a brilliant daughter, has a son and another daughter that aren't quite making great decisions now. But if there was someone that I would bring back, I would go have a conversation with 15-year-old Patrick Abbott. So.
Coach, that was nice. We really appreciate that, man, opening up to us, man, for us at TAAN TV. Much success for the Southwest Legacy team this year. And like the One-Eyed Scout said, hey, we're going to go check out your tournaments, and we're gonna keep up with you, Coach. I really appreciate it, man. And,
I appreciate you guys.
all right,
Coach
so
Abbott,
we're gonna do
I really appreciate you taking the time on a
no
Sunday
problem.
afternoon to come out. And, I keep looking forward to seeing you at games.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, we appreciate any coverage that our kids can get. We want to celebrate our kids because, it's getting more and more difficult for high school kids, and it's going to continue to be that way.
Yes.
So your platform helps that, and so anything that we can do to help, we're willing to help.
All right. Well, make sure we get in touch next year for your tournament.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
one of the best tournaments in the state.
There
Yes.
you go. Kevin Howell, the one I we're back. We're back. It's a great opportunity to kind of learn a little bit about Coach Pete Abbott, his thoughts, his processes, and I think it opens up some eyes to how coaches revitalize themselves. I know one of the big things is, as far as college coaches, NCAA Final Four is coming right around the corner. So the National Basketball Coaches Association will be in town. And so there's going to be college coaches from all over the country that'll be at the Final Four.